Hey everybody, how's it going? Merlyn Silva here on the Ableton Certified Trainer Nordic community page. And today we're going to have a look at sound design. I'm following up from Fainu's awesome video on making a little bass patch. If you haven't caught that already, go and check it out on our page. So I'm going to continue with that idea and show you a sound design trick that I really like to use. And if, like me, you like artists like Tipper and Ott and psychedelic bass music, then this is a sound that you really need to know about. So let's check it out. So you're looking at my screen and I've got a little simple loop going on. Let's press play. And what we're going to make today is this sound here. And everything else is just a couple of drum loops from some Ableton packs and my own subnote that I made. So yeah, this sound is really, really cool, psychedelic, acidy. If you look into like dance music history, you'll find this coming up in a lot of places, and it takes a special kind of filter to make. So what I'm going to do is find a new analog and start totally from scratch. And I'll just mute this one here. And the first thing in making a pattern like this, I think, is it's really important to get the rhythm right. So before we do anything else, we're going to need to punch in a little rhythm to work with. And I like to do that by just arming the track. And on my computer keyboard today, as I've just done a gig and haven't packed my push and my controllers out, I'm just going to hit record and tap in a really banal, basic rhythm. Let's go. Sweet. And of course that's completely out of rhythm. Let's move it a bit back to deal with that latency and quantize that thing. Let's hear it again. So yeah, loads of stuff's coming in a little bit late. Let me just fix that really quickly. Sweet. So it's a rhythm, nothing special, but it's kind of got a bit of swing to it and it moves along nicely with the drums and the bass. Cool. So that was the most musical part done with. Let's have a look at analog, because there's a few things that we're going to need to set up to get this sound. So of course this is just a kind of repeating G note. And if you're going for this idea, I recommend you take this down an octave or two. We'll try this. Sweet. So here's the main part of the video, the main trick. We're going to use the Formant Filter. And this is the only place in Live's native devices you can find a Formant Filter. And already it sounds like acid, which we like. Acid is good, but we need to fiddle around a little bit. I'm going to take this resonance all the way up and take the frequency down a bit. And if your analog, like mine, is set up at the default presets, when you load it up, we're going to need to change a few things. I'm going to start off by taking this envelope off to 0. And I'm going to lose the drive, although that can be fun to try later. And I'm going to turn the LFO on. And I'm just going to press play and move the frequency around. So we can dial in the place that we can hear like lots of nice textural or timbral changes, which right now is kind of between 300 and 1,000. Cool. So far so good, but it doesn't quite have that kind of acidy snap. And we're going to bring back the filter envelope. We're going to dial that in a little bit. And we're going to add a bit of attack. Cool. And of course it's just trial and error. I'm going to add the LFO to this. Sweet. Something you might have noticed here when I play with the envelope on the filter, it really changes a lot, and we're going to just loop back to that at the end. But for now, we got a kind of basic idea of the sound. We could try other stuff. We could put unison on. But in my example, I just use a bit of chorus and a bit of delay. And I had an EQ at the beginning, and I used a lovely hybrid reverb. So let's cut the sub away because we don't need that in our mix. And let's use lots of chorus. Let's not apply it to the bass. So I'll use this high pass here and added lots of amount and feedback. And let's just try that. So it's nice and wet, and you can play with these settings. Maybe you want a bit faster. I'm going to just delay the high parts, so I'll use this filter. So it doesn't get too busy in the mid-range. And finally, and very importantly, we'll use the reverb. I'm going to make it a bit shorter, and I'm going to use the shimmer algorithm. And I just took the bass away with the EQ. Lovely. So this is more or less similar to the sound I showed you, but since we're here, I want to try a few things. First, what I'm going to do is go in and I'm going to duplicate this loop a few times so it's nice and long. Then I'm going to make sure overdub is enabled up at the top and that my automation recording is also enabled. And in a sec, what I'm going to do is fire this clip record button, and I'm just going to mess around with settings. And let's see how that goes. Lovely. So as you can see, what I did here is I just played around with stuff and recorded lots and lots of automation from different parameters. Later on, I might bounce this down and choose the best bits, chop it up, whatever, or I might just have this running. But this is a really good example of why analog is super, super, super dope. And it has a few things hidden in it, like this Formant filter, that really gives you access to some of these kind of classic sounds. So yeah, that was it. Analog, Formant filter, little bit of playing around with settings, and you get this lovely psychedelic kind of acidy, formenty vibe.